business elsewhere. But mark what I say here. I care not for color. I have no color on the brain. All I have on the brain is paint. Love is my principle, order is the basis, and progress is the end. Progress! So, progress in Europe. Let us depart. We have to try again. Perhaps you should approach the next house. Now, we may fare better if they think that I am your humble servant. But don't you let that go to your head. Sloan! Sloan! Stop skipping! Mr. Ball, I think you should stop skipping around like that. You a grown man. Now, I hear what you're saying and all about the history of it. I mean, the fact that Douglas didn't go to school, the fact that he learned how to do this all by himself, that's impressive. But that was a long time ago, and I really don't think that that's a good enough reason not to sell this here painting. I mean, the little girl, what you think? Duh. Sell the painting, become a millionaire, keep the painting, collect dust. Can I interject here? I've had my book of knots for, I'd say 10 years now. And I don't know where I'd be if my uncle hadn't passed them down to me. And I plan to tie them down to my children. Where would the next generation be without knots? To tie them together. Bind them together. And, well, what a dilemma. America, what should she do? Huh? Let's take a poll. If you think that she should sell it on the count of 3, I want for you to scream, sell it! 1, 2, 3, sell it! Sell it! And if you think that she should keep it on the count of 3, I would like for you to scream, keep it! 1, 2, 3, keep it! Oh, wow, silence! What kind of pagan mockery is this? This is not some television show, some game show, and that is not some pretty picture. This is our history, our culture. Duncanson was once known as the greatest landscape painter in the West. Do you know how difficult it is to paint a landscape? Do you know how much he had to struggle? Well, imagine! Imagine! Dear God, in the studio today, Sontag spoke on and on of how close he was to securing his grand tour to Europe, to getting the funds for his grand tour. And I must say that I'm jealous, but I seem ever distant from that goal. And I'm beginning to wonder if I can earn enough to carry me over the threshold of the Atlantic. I don't even have the exhibition entrance fee, let alone enough to... I have worked hard, and I've toiled and earned and gained a name and fame in my profession. Even my critics have commented on my progress, but without access to the masters, Raphael, Guido Reni, Michelangelo, I'm afraid that I will be relegated to the fate of the Hoppers, painting the same green landscape tucked away in their rooms. I am primed to move past the capacity of William Saltag's tutelage. I want to do more than copy the works of Cole. I have gotten all of the inspiration that I can from these young American landscapes. I am becoming desperate to finish my education in Europe. Because the climate is different there in every way, I am told. It sounds too good to be true. I hear talk of Negroes walking in full partnership with society, being held in full regard with their colleagues, appreciated in direct proportion to the merit of their contribution. And isn't that clear? Isn't that clear? It seems I've offended my friend Ball by rejecting his charge to design the panels for the panorama. He threatens to terminate fate, our friendship, should I decide to rescind my decision. And I've been sourcing for the moment to try and scramble his indignation. And I think perhaps he has heard of my plan to gift my Garden of Eden to the Reformator, and he wonders how I can give more to the parlor wall of an abolitionist than to the people who are in need of salvation. It seems that I am being accused of disloyalty and opportunism, of lending my hand not to my brethren, but to the other, and only when receiving publicity or the promise of future conditions. But how can he be? Do not I know firsthand the insulting effects of bigotry and prejudice? Do not people stand in my studio staring at me, astonished, not by the caliber of my work, but that I, a Negro, am capable? Am I not challenged about the whereabouts of my birth, as though it could not be fathomed that I was born free? Do not slaves look upon me in contempt, as though I am the very source of their predicament? And even as it evokes your very presence, God, is it not also a risk to my freedom to walk the countryside without stone? Now, James suggests that I should give my life for the cause, but why should I have to risk death to be alive? What have colored people done for me that I should risk so much that I know that it is a worthy cause, Father. I know that it is the most worthy cause. It is just that I fear that traveling the country with balls, panorama will incite violent riot the moment we cross the Ohio River. I should have been south. My grandfather bought his freedom in Virginia, and my family has never been back. For it seems that all who go south are swallowed by its murderous intolerance, swallowed without making a single strike for our equality. Am I a selfish coward then? Does that make me a betrayer? I do not know how to respond to all that I know that I must, for his words have shackled my mind. I cannot paint the land. I cannot see it. All I see over and over is a daguerreotype I saw ages ago in Graham's magazine. A view of Cincinnati, Ohio from Covington, Kentucky. And it haunts me. For in the image, everywhere where there are whites, I see Negroes. I see them slaving away, while their white counterparts take in the day, oblivious of their privilege, oblivious of their participation. And then I look out across the water, and I see their brown faces looking back at me. And I cannot turn away. Lord, tell me what I am to do. There are colored people in this town, true and dear to me, but that does not follow that because I am colored that I need to kiss every colored or white man that I meet. And how can he expect me to take on a charge so much larger than myself when I cannot even take on the charge within? For I think I am going mad. Sometimes I do not even think my work is my own, but that I am possessed by these white men. It is their greatness through me that makes its way to the canvas. But what then is my greatness? Where is my voice? My vision? Lord, help me. Guide my hand and heart, embolden me to please what I see. For I have made up my mind to paint a great picture, even if I fail. A picture of great merit. And from this moment forth, every day that passes will shed new light onto my path. What was once dark and dreary will be brought to light, for I will paint a great picture. I will paint a great picture. I will paint a great picture. Many great pictures, of which this is one. That is why this is more. You cannot sell this painting. It is our history. It is our culture. It is. Will you help me convince her of you stupid people? I do not succumb to peer pressure, and I do not buy this might be, his great picture. When I found it in the attic, I thought it was pretty, but I didn't look at it to see how much skill it took to make. And it never even crossed my mind that it might represent, somebody's life. Because you see, this picture, right? Where's the picture? Where is the picture? Ball! Now you'll never catch me! Catch him! Go to commercial! I'll catch him! No! Let me go! Let me go! Do you know who I am? I've been trying to tie you up since I first saw you. Yeah, guess who's rubbish now? Take him away, officers. I think this belongs to you, Miss Moore. OMG! Okay, Greg just saw me on the road show, and he texts me. He says, FYI, 143, want to go to the prom with me? He 143's me, Mom! Come on, I gotta go see him at the Well, this almost wraps up our episode of the Urban Road Show, but first, before we go, Miss Moore, what would you do with Pink? Oh, I ain't gonna never let this thing leave my side now. I know what it's worth. I'm taking it home with me.